So now that we learned the basics of JavaScript, we're going to learn about each feature of the language. In this lesson, we're going to learn about numbers and math. Alright, so first I'm going to close the console and we're going to use a project that is provided by super simple.dev, and that is called, I'm going to go up here and I'll type super simple. So this is a project by super simple.dev developer.dev / projects / Amazon, and I'm gonna press enter, and that is gonna open this e-commerce website that we're gonna build at the end of this video. So this is an e-commerce website where you can add items to our cart. We can view the items in our cart up here on the right hand side. So I'm going to click on this cart, and here we have our items, and here we have our order summary. So here we have how much what we have in the cart costs. And in this video, I'm going to focus on this part here. Now let's open the console to write JavaScript code. So I'm going to click on the blank screen, right click, go to inspect console, and here we have our console and we're going to write our code. So we already did some math in the previous video. You had 2 plus 2, and the computer adds those two numbers and it gives us 4. We also have 10 minus 7. I'm gonna press enter, and we have 3. In addition to adding and subtracting, you can also multiply. So I can put here 2, and we use the asterisk sign to multiply. 2 times 2, or 22. So 2 times 2, and we have 4. And also have division. So I'm going to type 5 divided by 3. And we have 1.667. And we're going to talk about what is this and why we have these many decimal numbers after the whole number. So now it's time to learn the syntax rules for numbers and math. The syntax for math in JavaScript is pretty straightforward. We just write it like normal math. And we can also do math with more numbers. So I can put here 2 plus 3 plus 5. And we have 10. And JavaScript can also handle decimal numbers. So decimal numbers are numbers which have a fractional part, like 3.14 and 2.2 and so on. So if I put here 2.2 plus 3.3 and I press enter, now the computer adds 2.2 plus 3.3 and I have 5.5. This is the result of this calculation from above. So next we're going to calculate those numbers that we have here. So it's important to have the same items that I have, so you have the same numbers that I have here. So make sure that in your cart you have 2 socks, 1 basketball, and 1 t-shirt. And also you have selected Monday, Tuesday, and here also Monday, because this will also, here is not going to affect the price, but here is going to affect the price, the numbers that we have here. Alright, so make sure to have those, or you can have different numbers, and you can try to do what I am doing differently. That it will still be okay if you want, but it's important to have what I have here, to have the same output in the console here. And if you want to update or delete an item, just click on update or delete, and that is gonna delete the item, and this is gonna update the item, and you have the same here and here. Okay, so let's calculate this number that we have here. So we have $74, and to do that I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna add first the socks. We have 2 socks, so I'm gonna type my OKD. So I'm gonna type here 10.90 times 2, because we have 2. I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna type plus 20.95, and I'll go down here and I'll type plus 7.99. And as you can see here, we have, if I press enter, 50.74, and if I go up here, we have 50.74. So this is the total cost of our items without tax and shipping. This is the number that we have here. And now, as I said, you can have different numbers by adding or updating those items with your own items that you want. Next, let's add the numbers that we have here, the total cost that we have here, plus the shipping. So we need to get this number here. So I'm gonna type here 10.90 times 2 plus 20.95 plus, and now we're gonna add the shipping, which is $4.99. So I'm gonna type $4.99, and we need to get to this number. So I'm gonna press enter, and I have 47.74. Okay, you have a problem because I forgot to add the shirt, $7.99 here, as you can see here. So I'm gonna go down here, I'll type again 10.90 plus, times 2 plus 20.95 plus 7.99, and now plus, I'm gonna go up here, the tax, which is the $4.99. So I'm gonna type 4.99. Now if I press enter, we have 55.73, and I have here exactly what we have here. So the number that we have here matches our total before tax, and we have this decimal part long. We're gonna talk about this later in this video. Next, let's look at the order of operations, and the order of operations in which order does JavaScript doing the calculation. So if I have here 3 plus 2 times 2, and if I press enter, we get 7, because it's doing the order of operations. So it's multiplying first the 2 times 2, which is 4, and then it adds 3 to it. So we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Those are operations, and the character in the middle is called the operator, which is doing the operation. Now there is a certain acronym that you can use to know when and which operation is did first by JavaScript. And you need to remember this acronym PEMDAS, and this is the order in which the operations are doing. You have parentheses first, so whatever expression we have, the thing in the parentheses is did first. Then you have exponents, then you have multiply and division, and this is important. When you have multiplication and division on the same line, on the same equation, you do the multiplication and division from left to right, because they are at the same they have the same priority. So you do them from left to right. Similarly to addition and subtraction. If you have addition and subtraction, you don't do the subtraction first, or you don't do the addition first. You do them from left to right. Either if here it will be a minus and here a plus, you'll do the subtraction first and then the addition. So it's very important you just need to remember this PEMDAS, this acronym, and you'll be confident with doing the operations in JavaScript. Now I'm going to open the browser again. Also, this is the order of operations is called also operator's precedence. Now, if I type here 2 plus 2 times 3, you get the expected result 8. So it's doing first 2 times 3, 6, plus 2 and 8. But with parentheses, with brackets, we can control which expression is evaluated first. And if you don't know what expression means simply something which returns a value. So 2 plus 2 is an expression, 2 times 3 is an expression, because both return a value. Now to control, so to have first have the addition being done first, we put parentheses around the expression that we want to be done first. So I'm going to type here parentheses, opening parentheses, 2 plus 2, which is 4, times 3, which is 12. So now, if I press enter, it's doing first the expression in the parentheses, 2 plus 2, which is 4. Then, after that, it's multiplying that by 3, and we have 12. So this is how you can control which expression is evaluated first, using parentheses, using brackets. Now let's learn the syntax rules for brackets. So we have to have a matching opening bracket and a closing bracket to make this valid. So something like this doesn't work because we have 2 opening brackets and no closing bracket. So you need to also have a complete calculation in the brackets. So this will not work also, because 2 times 2 multiplied is not a complete calculation. Now let's do some practical examples using the order of operations. First, we're going to do some more setup in the final project. So we are going to remove all the products in our cart, go to this page, and we're going to add some items here. So we are going to add a new, let me see what to add, a hooded fleece and 3 shirts. Now if I go to our cart, now we have this here, we have the items added in the cart, we have the 3 shirts and the hoodie, and we are going to calculate this number again. So I'm gonna open the console and I'll type here the price of the hoodie, 24 plus 7.99 times 2. Now if I press enter, we have this number here. Sorry, should be 24 plus 7.99 times 3, and we have 47.97 like we have here. So this number now matches the number that we have in our summary. So notice here that we are taking advantage of the order of operation. Even though multiplying is last, it is done first, and then is doing the addition of 24 plus the result of this multiplication. Now let's calculate 10% of this number like we have here to see what we get. And 10% we can't just multiply by 10% because that doesn't make any sense. We can multiply 47.97 times 10%. We need to convert it into a fraction, and 10% means 10 over 100, and 10 over 100 is 0.1. So I'm gonna type here 47.97 times 0.1. And if I press enter here, that is gonna give us a number which is close to what we have here, 4.880. So we have 4.797, which is rounded, is this number that we have here. And later on our video, we're gonna see how we can round this number to have exactly what we have here. Now let's calculate this number individually again. So I'm gonna type here, let me go up, 24 plus 7.99 times 3 times 0.1%. And if I press enter, as you can see, we have 26.397, and this is not the number that we have here. So what is happening? This happens because it first does this, the order of order of operations. So by that thing is doing the multiplication first, and then is doing the addition. So we need to control that, to do first the cost of the products, which is this, multiplied by the tax. So I'm going to type opening parenthesis 24 plus 7.99 times 3 closing parenthesis times 0.1. And if I press enter, we have 4.797. So we have the same number that we have here. So now everything works fine because we're doing first what is in the parentheses, the cost of the products, multiplied by the tax, which is 0.1. In the rest of this lesson, we're going to learn more details about numbers and math. The first detail that we're going to learn is something weird, which is happening when dealing with floating point numbers. And first, we need to understand what is a floating point number. A floating point number is a number which has a decimal part. So like this number that we have here, this number, all the numbers which have a decimal part are also called floating point numbers. The numbers which don't have a decimal part are called integers, like 24, 2, 3, those are integers. They are whole numbers without a fractional part, like floating point numbers. And computers have a problem working with flows. So if I have here 0.1 plus 0.2, as you can see, we have 0.3 and we have a lot of decimals here. We have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then 4. And this is not the result that we want. And this problem that we have here is not specific only to JavaScript. Many programming languages have problems with these floating point numbers. The reason this happens is because of how computers store numbers. So I'll give a simple explanation of why this happens. So computers can only store 0 and 1, while humans can number from 0 to 1 to 3 to 8 and 9. So there is kind of a mismatch between our number systems. For integers, this is not a problem because the computer can use a bunch of zeros and ones to represent the whole number, the integer. However, for decimals, sometimes the computer can't store the number properly, and this is why you get these weird numbers that you see here. So here is how the computer tries to store 0.2 only using zeros and ones. At the top is what the computer stores, and at the bottom is what the number is. We can see that the computer gets closer and closer to 0.2 but never actually reaches it. And this is why we get these inaccuracies. And it's important to know that these inaccuracies only happens with some flows, not with all the flows. If you try to represent 0.25, you'll not have this problem that you see here. It will be stored correctly without any problems. And these inaccuracies with floating point numbers can be a problem. Let's say if you want to calculate money, like we have it here, because we need to have the exact sum, not approximations, not numbers which almost reaches a certain value. We want the exact value. So we need to solve this somehow, and we're gonna see in this video how to solve this. So how to avoid this problem? Best practice when calculating money, when dealing with money, is to calculate in cents. So I'm gonna go here and I'll type $2,400, which is $24, plus 7.99. And now, as you can see, you have 30,199 cents, and this is good because you don't have now this thing, the problem with the numbers, the problem with the repeating decimals that we have here, which is inaccurate. Now, if you want this in dollars, you just surround this with parentheses and divide by 100, because there are 100 cents in a dollar, and we have 31.99. But it should be, let me see, there is a problem. It should be here times 2, and now we have, let's put this in parentheses. Okay, so there is a problem. We need to update this to 1. So I'll update the shirts with 1. And now I will go down here and I will type 2014, so that time plus 7.991. So I did this to not have 3 shirts because that generates a problem. So I'm gonna put plus, and now we have, as you can see, it should be 7.99, sorry, in cents. So we have 3,199. Now, if you want this in dollars, we surround it with parentheses and we divide by 100, and we have 31.99 like we have here. So this matches this that we have here. Okay, so this is how you can avoid this problem. Now, a note here is that calculations with flows are sometimes inaccurate, and especially when working with money, it's important to do the calculation in cents and then convert it back to dollars. Next, we're gonna learn how to round the number, and round the number means taking the number and move it to the integer and moving into the nearest integer. So let's see how we can round the number. So to round the number, I'm gonna go down here and I'll type math, and we need to use capital letter map. So you need to type the text exactly as I'm typing, because JavaScript is case sensitive. So if you have a lowercase m, that is gonna mean so completely something else. So capital M dot round, so math dot round parentheses, let's say 3.3, let's press enter, and it rounds this to the nearest integer, which is 3. So if you round 3.3, you get 3. Now if I go down here, I'll type again math dot round parentheses, let's say 4.7, we get 5, because this is the nearest integer to which 4.7 is gonna be rounded, which is rounded right now. Next, we're gonna calculate this tax that we see here, 3.20, and we're gonna round it to this number. So I'm gonna type here, I'm gonna type again in cents. So let me copy this, copy, it's not working. Okay, let me try again. Okay, so you have 31.99, and you also need to multiply this by 0.1, and we need to put this in parentheses, and we have 3.19999, as you can see here. Now, if we try to round this number, and as you can see, this number is very close to 3.20, it's 3.19999. If you try to round this number, so if I put here, let me copy this. Let's paste it here. And if I put here math dot round parentheses, we get 3 because it rounds to the nearest integer, which is 3. So we don't get what we want. So how to achieve what we want? Alright, so you need to round this number that we have here. So this number. So I'm gonna copy this. Let me copy this. I'll go down here. I will paste that number. And we have 319. I'm gonna type math dot round parentheses. And now we have 320 like we have here, but there is a problem. Okay, so this is in cents, 320 cents, and let's convert it to dollars. So I'm going to type divided by 100. And we have 3.2, so 3.20 is the same. So now it's rounded correctly. So to summarize, we calculated this in cents, we round it, and then it gave us an answer in cents, and we divided that by 100 to have dollars, and we have $3.2. So this is what we did.